All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage, and we're definitely happy and grateful for all of you being here with us this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we can take advantage of in this Forex market. So, without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. So I apologize out the gate. We had a few technical difficulties with our link, but I think we are all good now as I see you guys are logging in. So if everybody can hear me loud and clear, do me a big favor. Let me know that chat is working. Drop me a 1 and we can get this session going. Appreciate it. Joy, Carolyn. All right. Okay. So let's go. Let's dive right in. Go over and take a look at the fundamentals this morning. So we had GDP numbers come through, right? Growth, taking a look at the overall health of the economy out of the UK came in as forecasted at 0.2%. You guys take a look in the Discord. We put some notes regarding that. So could give a little upside bump, right, to the British pound. Not certain how long, a decent positive bump, how long the British pound can ride off of that data, because it's showing that the economy is resilient, but you do have some contraction in like areas of manufacturing and what was it? Let me see. We had UK, we had so like consumers facing services and manufacturing shows some contraction, and then so good that it came through at least at forecast and not below forecast for the pound. So we see a little uptick in the British pound today. We've got at 7:30, we got ECB monetary policy meeting accounts. So we'll see what happens as a result of that, looking at some of those minutes from the ECB, from their most recent meeting, kind of like what we saw with the United States yesterday. And then at 8:30, we've got core CPI coming out for the United States. We put some notes in the Discord regarding that as well. So if we go over to trading economics, again, UK economy returns to growth in August. And then here with the inflation rate, we've got CPI today, like we just saw on Forex Factory, that we have the US inflation rate likely eased to 3.6%. And hey, that's that report, right? So the way we look at that is what is the Fed going to do as a result in November? So we're starting to see more data to come out, including, well, this is a forecast for CPI, not the actual report. We'll see what happens at 8:30. Could be different, but if it continues to ease, then that just increases the likelihood that the Fed will hold rates in the November meeting, okay? Which will kind of play into some of the positions that we have on the dollar right now. We see oil rebounds on OPEC leaders' commitment. So we even got some news on the Russian ruble strengthens on capital control. So hey, the usual. But today we see here there was a report. This is from the meeting minutes from 16 hours ago. This report came out. Feds to keep restrictive policy. So what that is hey, in November they may hold rates where they are, but they plan to stay higher, keep those rates at that level for longer. Okay. Now, when you look at what the market had been forecasting, is to say, hey, at some point, early to mid 2024, the Fed will start cutting rates. But what they're saying is it's probably going to stay higher for longer. Some people at the beginning of the year were banking on the Feds. Some investors were banking on the Feds to start cutting rates at the end of this year, but that's not going to happen. Right? So the ebbs and flows continue. All right. So like we always say, don't bet against it. All right. So hold on, let me make sure we get everybody, make sure you guys have control of your microphone. Hold on 1 second, everybody. Okay. So That's that on the fundamental front. Again, today, all eyes are on that CPI report for the United States. And then, of course, tonight at 9:30, we got CPI coming out for China as well. So, but the main thing for our Thursday is the CPI, especially that core, which excludes food and energy. Any questions on the fundamentals? No, we're all good. All right, so let's move over. Take a look at this DXY, right? So we've gotten the decline that we were expecting on the dollar, right? Hey, at some point, right, it has to correct, right? And here we are. We can see for the week, we've come right that weekly level there is holding, and we can see that we've got declines on the week. So this is the weekly candle, and we can see we've been moving to the downside. We see where it peaked out. And then we've been moving down. So we'll see how much further, right, that move will happen. Reese call it 105. So we shall see. Okay. Again, CPI reports coming out. The trading economics data is showing that, hey, it's looking like it's going to ease. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, right? We'll see if we get further declines and to push lower on the dollar. Any questions on the dollar right now as it stands? Already tagged. Yeah, my bad. 162. Waiting to see if it holds or not. Okay. Yep. So let's see. Let's see what happens. I wish they would change these would change it to reflect like on the on trading view, right? And everything else. So let's move right, because I have to switch back over, go back and forth to reflect that 105 level that you were talking about. So yeah, so let's see. But that was a key level. You called that right on the money. And you can see where it's holding up a little bit. So let's see what happens with the CPI data this morning. But you were great at calling that correction. So awesome job. So let's take a look at it, right? So we'll go, and since we know this DXY was declining, right? That should automatically take us. Yeah, no problem, man. It should take us to this to our Euro USD, right? Which is typically moving in the opposite direction. So that's easy money on the plate there. Give me 1 second, everybody. Make sure we are all good. I think we are all set. Ryan, good morning, sir.
Good morning, bro. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good, man. Doing all right?
Yes, sir. Doing well, man. Glad to be here.
Appreciate it. Shout out to Ryan for being on the tech side today, fixing the fixing our issue. He was on it.
My bad, everybody. we got it good though.
And we all good, man. I appreciate your help on that.
No doubt.
So yeah. So let's take a look at this Euro USD scenario, right? DXY correcting, Euro USD. Right. Take a look at it on the weekly. So we've held at that level, that 104.83 level. That's where we're seeing that pop to the upside. Okay. So that's from a broader perspective. And if we go down to the 4 where we've got our setup, we can see we're back up to 106. So the challenge becomes, can we break this 106 and continue up to 107? Can we get there? It's a big move for us. But right now it is playing out. We are in the positive on this play, right? So so far, right, we are up, 80 pips or so. That's a good week for some folks, right? It's a good week for some people, but we're looking for the larger move. And right now you can see it's struggling at that 106. But I'm not reducing this position or anything. I'm going to hold this position and let it go ahead and play out through the data that's coming up at 8:30 for the US dollar. So that's where we are. We're moving pretty good on the Euro USD. Any questions? No?
No, sir.
All right. All right. All right. Let's take a look at the dollar Swiss play ahead of the date at 8:30. And we can see, right, how we are turning over, right? We don't have telling me
Everybody, give us 1 second. Yep, give us 1 second, everybody. All right, give me 1 second, everybody. I'm gonna hop in until Benny comes back online. Just pulling up my dollar Swiss chart here. Nope, we can't hear you, bro. Drop me 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Hear me, Ryan. Okay. All right. Cool deal. Is dollar Swiss. All right. Drop me 1 if you can see my screen. Okay, cool deal. So it's dollar Swiss. All right, we pushed up And I haven't updated this chart in a minute, actually, but we've been moving to the downside, right? Strong bullish push, broke the previous high. Now we're making our way back down. Okay, making our way back down. Coming down to the daily time frame, right? Pull this out. Been pushing to the upside, right? 50% retracement on that fib coming off the high. And we're pulling back down. So one of the things we want to watch for here is the potential of a crown pattern. Right, we're making this pull back now, right? But overall, I'm still bullish on the dollar, right? So we're pulling back. So let's see where price settles in, all right, and see if we get that type of action there. Okay, see if we get that type of action. So that's where we are right now. Move back down to the downside. And okay, cool deal. You want to take back over, Benny?
Yep, I can take it back over.
All right, I'll stop.
All right,
There you go.
cool. All right. Let me see. All right, we're good, Ryan. You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're good. Appreciate you backing me up, man, on that. I don't know what's going on.
No.
Everything just crashed.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all good, bro.
It just kind of lost my audio and everything. So, all right. So back to this dollar Swissy, right, which Ryan was just covering, right? So we got that correction, right? You got a fib running from the top side on the daily.
I do, yes.
Is that what you had? Okay. So let me run that down. Bang, there we go. Right. So we're turning over right in that zone. That's beautiful. Right at that level. We had 50%, 92.22, and we are moving to the downside, right? So we broke through that 90.16 level. So we'll see if we get further declines. Again, we'll see how the 8:30 news works as a catalyst. But this is the 4-hour 80/20, and we are moving along quite well. Right. So again, can we get through this 89.94 level? And do we continue to TP1? So we shall see. Quite interested to see what happens at 8:30 today with the CPI data. Any questions on this dollar Swissy? Anybody able to take advantage of it? I hope so. Yes? No?
Yeah. I missed this one, bro.
You missed this one to the outside?
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. Always catch the next one. What'd you say?
I was going to ask if that was a double bottom, but I could see it on your chart now. I didn't quite make it.
So it is moving down nicely. So I'm gonna look to hold, right? So just manage the trade accordingly. Has been a good play for us so far, right? So down off that level, we are 174, 175 pips in. So good trade there. Moving over to the dollar yen. Take a look at it, and we can see, right? So still ultimately looking for that target, right? That 1,380 pips. We're moving sideways right now. So from this point, right, it's just a matter of, do we get a correction and a continuation, right? So on the 4-hour, which is what we're looking at, it is moving sideways, especially ahead of the data, right? So just moving, bouncing, trying to make up his mind. Let's see what happens at 8:30. But that's a really good risk to reward on that. I'm playing at just above the high. I didn't put that stop at the D. So I've got 121 pip stop on that because that strong move, right? That huge candle that moved down. I'm like, hey, if it takes that high out, then it might just continue long. But so I'm playing that one a bit tighter. So we'll see if we get a continuation to the downside or if it wants to push and make a new high, right? There's that 150 level, and that's where it reacted the last time. So we'll see what happens on the dollar yen. Any questions on that?
No, sir. I have mine
No?
tighter too.
Yeah, you rolled yours down a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let that one strong reaction at that 150 level. I'll just place it right above it. So we'll see what happens if we can get that correction. I hope we get it. That's the direction that I'm sitting. So that's that. Let's take a look at the dollar CAD, see what we've got going on there. Right. So we can see how we're at this 136.65 level, and it's struggling. It's struggling, right? So we moved up to that point, right? Making those ABCD waves to the upside. Now we're correcting a bit, right? So if we come down to the 4, we get a cleaner look there. We can see where we made, right? We followed that wave sequence, really, really good plays. Now we're in an up retracement zone, just shy of our 80-20 zone. We corrected back down to this 382. So we didn't get that push all the way up to that zone, but we came in right underneath it. And now we're just moving sideways ahead of the data. So this one could go either way. We could push for a deeper correction on the news. So we'll just continue to see what happens with that, right? So that's just consolidating right now and ranging. Any questions on the dollar CAD?
No, sir.
All right. Let's take a look at this this pound dollar. Right, so we can see here where we turned over from the weekly time frame where we turned over. We actually broke below that 123. Now we're testing it, right? So if we get breaks above 123, right, lot riding on that CPI data today, then we look for a continued upside move on the pound dollar, right? At least in the short term. But right here we are on the 4. Okay, there's that 123 level. I am waiting. Right, I want to wait to see what the CPI data has in store for us at 8:30. Right, so I am just gonna hold right here. We know it's struggling from the higher time frame at that 123 level. We are in our sell zone, but it can go either way depending on the data. All right, so let's see what happens. Our stochastic is in our sell zone. This could be a really nice setup. But I don't want to put anything on this pound dollar yet until we see what happens with the news, okay? Because if it's going to make further declines, then it has a while to go, right? If it's going to reverse out. Okay, so let me smart trend line on there, and we can see that we're already moving through. I'm going to do this manually here. Like so. Okay. So I am willing to wait and see. That's a pretty good bearish candlestick there. So I am waiting to see what happens with that data, and we'll go from there. Any questions on this pound dollar? All right, so this is a bit of a wait and see. We know we're in a pretty good zone. Well, let's see what happens as a result. The news has been a little bit tricky lately. Some of these fundamentals. No questions? All right. That's the pound dollar. Let's take a look at the Aussie dollar. See here from the daily, okay, we've gotten a bit of a push, right? The dollar weakness, but we're at the 236, and we haven't formed a high on the daily yet, but we'll keep a close eye on it, right? Because this, right, we've already made that play to the downside off that daily resistance level is 65.01. Now, right, we've got some highs here on the 4. This is looking like it could potentially be a really good short. Okay. But let's see what happens after the data, because I am bearish. right, on this Aussie dollar. And here, that's my low right there. Okay, and what I'm going to do, okay, this is already gotten that break. So if we get right, so we've got past resistance becoming future support. We already got a reaction once. If we break that 63.88 level, we'll probably see continuations to the downside on this Aussie dollar. So continue to keep an eye on that. Some of you may already be short, right? Off that, we almost got to that 61.8 zone, and it gave us a beautiful reaction off that 65.01, right? That was a couple weeks ago on the weekly ritual when we spotted that nice bearish candlestick, bearish engulfing candlestick here, and then it got short, right, below 64.45. So we've got to pull back to retest that level. See how the market has a memory, everybody? Look at this, right? Look at how, okay, look at how the market, nice bearish candlestick, we went down, we broke a major level, and now look at where we are. We came right back to retest that level, and we're holding. Okay. So though, if you're short and you're playing a long swing on the Aussie dollar, hey, fundamentally strong, the dollar is correcting right now, but we expect more upside eventually on the dollar. Aussie, we're looking weak. Okay. Well, this is your retest. So you got to pull back. That's an opportunity here to potentially add to your position if you caught it holding at resistance or with a break, right, of that 63.88 level to the downside. Any questions on the Aussie dollar?
On the one, bro, I got a head and shoulders also.
Got a head and shoulders right here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, playing right here across that neckline.
Yeah.
I got you. All right. Well, good to me. So let's continue to look for, see if we can get further declines on that. That's moving pretty good right now. All right. Okay. So you guys see, hey, it's doing the same thing. So if we see things like this, like maybe, right, if we get our stochastic on a daily, it's moving into the sell zone, right? So maybe it becomes one of those situations where we're getting that reaction off the 236. Maybe we push down to this 118, 127 zone, and then we'll see what happens in the future. Okay. It's just the market, once you frame it out with the fibs properly, you see that it really, really does the same thing over and over again. Okay. Questions on that? All right. Let's see what happens. I want to take a look at, let's go down and take a look at the dollar peso, see what's going on with that. And you can see, right, we're getting, look at how it's moving. We broke that $18 level. Look at that. And now it's correcting to the downside. Okay. The ebbs and flows of the market, right? Getting in rhythm. Here we are, right? On this dollar peso. The stochastics in the buy zone. We've got a pullback. Okay. So beautiful ABCD waves. And now this is our latest fib, right? Our latest ABCD wave. So let's see if we hold at this 1777 level. Okay. I've got a 200 running on this one in the 50. So let's see what happens, right? So we're above the 200. So technically that's still bullish and we are retracing right now, right? So let's see how this continues to play out. Let's put a cloud on here to see where we are, right? So we're just below that cloud, which typically happens anytime you get a deeper correction. So let's see what happens. See if we continue the bullish momentum on the dollar peso. See if we can get it to U-turn eventually. Any questions on that?
No, sir. I want to watch this one
All right.
closely. I haven't played this one at all, but I might, if we get prices settle in, I might take a shot.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's moving pretty good. And we know a lot of traders we follow around that traded. So
Yeah.
and so shout out again to Danette for calling that out because it was totally off my radar. Even though I follow those guys who trade it, I've never really traded it. And yes. Yes. Yep. So that's the dollar peso. We'll take a look in on gold. Ahead of the news. Look at that, right? I missed the swing on this, Ryan. I did, and we had it marked up too, and I didn't play it. So we'll take a look at it from the one because that's where we had it, and where we had it drawn up. It didn't get to that support though. That's what and then it swung to the upside. That's what I was looking for, but it didn't quite get there. It came into a few pips or so, but then it just exploded to the upside. So we'll continue to see what happens with that. So there we are now on the 1 hour with gold. 1886. We're in the 80-20 zone. Look at this here. This should be a new fib. So look it out. So right now it's looking bullish, right, on that dollar weakness. Okay. Those are easy money plays, right? You get dollar correction, things like gold, those counter currency trades. It's looking good. Any questions on gold? Let's see what happens at this level. Should be an interesting morning. So you can be rich living in Mexico. For sure. Got to move that currency around. For sure. All right. There's some other pairs I want to take a look at outside of the dollar. Like keeping an eye on this dollar CAD, right? Because take a look at the daily. And we are still, this zone is so critical. It keeps testing this level and it's holding. Now our stochastics all the way back in the sell zone on the daily. We know that this has been a major play short, right? It's been short for quite some time. This is the overall move. But now, okay, this is pretty much a triple top. 1, 2, 3 times at that level is gotten rejected. Okay, so I'm looking for trend line breaks and closes below 86.90. So if you haven't been short on the Aussie CAD, this may give you an opportunity, right? Just continue to be patient, right? If we break, maybe we retest and get further declines on the Aussie CAD. Questions? Nope. All right. So these are long moves, but then we get those, those second and third opportunities to potentially, add to your position if you've been riding it down or take an initial position on it. Okay, that's where we are, right? We're in October. starting to get late in the year, and these moves, right, getting a little long in the tooth, right? So we're getting, more opportunities on these setups. Okay, so that's what we're looking like on the 1 hour right now. All right. Let's take a look at this pound NZD. And so here we are on the weekly. You can see, right? Has resistance becoming future support. We're holding up there, right? And we're looking a bit bullish. And look here, we're gonna go straight down to the 4. Bang. Beautiful 80-20 playing out, right? Gotta hang in there. Okay. Gotta hang in there. We got a little bit of double bottom action here, right? In the zone, retesting that zone. And now we are moving. Okay. So we've got a 4-hour resistance level coming in that we're gonna have to push through. But that's okay, because I think we're going to do it and move right to that 382. Okay, right to that 382. Technicals and fundamentals. We got the pound getting a little bit of a boost this morning based on the GDP data. Okay, so we are correcting to the upside. Who's playing this pound NZD to the upside? Anybody?
Me.
Me. All right, me.
Yes, sir.
It's awesome. All right, let's go. Let's go. Okay, so up out of that zone, right? Come on now. Where else are you finding 200 pip setups? That's not even to the target yet, right? Target is, call it 340 or so. $203, 203.33. Dang, all right. Let me mark that up. Uh, 203.33. Nice. That's what we're talking about. Make the play. Good work. So we're moving to the upside, right? So if we get any type of correction, okay, if we get any type of correction, then you look for opportunities to make the play. That's what it looks like on the 1. Okay, so you got a deep 8-6 retracement. It's coming right in line with that TP level. So let's keep it rocking and rolling. Let's go down and take a look at it. All right, this is a 1-minute chart. Let's go up to a 5-minute. And we'll just scan the fibs. That's what we're looking like on the 5 right now, everybody. Okay. So we'll use the 4-hour target. And we'll link it down. We'll take the TP2 level, link it down, and bam, there we go. So we are working our way on the 5-minute to this target. Okay. So if you're trading this, right, maybe we don't get a correction before we get to the D extension. That's okay, because we will hit that D extension, and guess what? It'll reset at some point. And then maybe you can get a correction back down to get involved with it. Okay, that's how you drop down to the lower time frames, get involved on the setup. Any questions on this pound NZD? Nope.
No, sir.
Great work. Ryan, saw you drop some sevens in the chat for that entry, right? Get some sevens for me. Great
Yes,
job.
sir.
It's beautiful work. Beautiful work. And then just let it play out. So you have to, right, to get good at this over time, right? We have to psychologically get it together. Okay, that's where my issue was, and at times still is. Right. So you have to ask yourself when a trade is, because this is when it gets frustrating, when the trade is dancing around and is moving in and out of profit, you have to ask yourself 2 questions. 3 questions, actually. Did it hit the stop? No. Did it hit the TP? No. Then what am I getting out of the trade for? That's it. Why am I getting out of the setup? That's the 3rd question. Ask yourself those 3 questions when these trades are making their move. Right? Ask yourself that. If I've worked out my risk and I'm not over leveraged, right? And I'm following the inner circle, risk management plan, which is very simple. I take my risk and I divide it by my stop loss. Is everybody doing that? Right? If I'm doing that, it is very, 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 very hard, right, to blow an account. If you're doing that, it makes sure that you're not putting yourself in a position that even say, maybe you didn't blow your account, but man, I'm down by so much, I'm down by 50%, and that becomes frustrating. I'm down by 50%, so I have to make 100% to pretty much get back to break even, right? So if I figured out my risk and I've done that before I take the trade, and now I'm in a position and it hasn't hit my stop, I already know what I could lose. Okay. So really just keep it that simple. Yep. And hey, girl, I've been there, right? So you blew your first challenge account, went greedy. That's what happens to 99.9% of people, or whatever the failure percentage is, depending on the prop firm. That's really what's happening, right? And if you're going through those challenge accounts, there's no time frame now. So it's all psychology. It's all fear and greed. They've eliminated, right? It is the journey. They've eliminated the time limits. So what we're doing, the beauty in what we're doing, and what we're trying to master, right? Because Ryan and I, we always talk about how it's always a work in progress. Is a lot of times in trading, you would say, hey, it's either, if you want the high risk to reward, a lot of times you'll hear that it had, tight stop loss, right? If you want a high risk to reward trade, you want to be able to risk more and make more money faster, right? A tighter stop loss, but your win percentage is going to be lower, right? But I hope what you guys are realizing with what we're doing and what we're trying to master, and why we work so hard at this thing, is that, and why we keep it about the education, is that with these swings, right? With these swings and using, a wider stop losses, yes, I'm trading smaller, but with these swings, it enables you to what? Produce a fairly high strike rate. Okay, for those of you who've been with us for a while, you know that. A fairly high strike rate at minimal risk. And you're able to make money because why? You're sitting in 200, 300 pip setups. You guys follow me on that? Drop me a 1 in the chat. So we're really putting something together that's really strong, and the world doesn't know it yet, right? And that's okay if they never do, just as long as you guys know it, right? That this move, most people are out 10, 15, 20 pips, right? You'll hear people say like, oh, 100 pip moves in the market are rare. But what we're trying to do, right, is perfect it to where you're getting a strike rate 50%, 60%, 70% at minimum risk, and you're able to still make money with a minimum risk because we're accumulating a large number of pips. You guys know how powerful that is. That ain't unheard of. So when you get right to the level, yes, I only have a $500 account now. I have a $1,000 account now. Maybe you're in a private firm, right? But I don't care if it takes you 5 years, 6 years to get to where you're in a private firm and now you have an account where you're managing a $4 million account with a prop firm somewhere, right? Which typically with the risk on that is usually meaning that your drawdown is like $240,000, right? At like 6% or something like that, because they're always gonna give you a drawdown limit. So that's really what you're trading. So that's like 240K. So now I'm sitting at 240K in an account, and I'm only risking 1%, right? I'm only risking 1%, right? So 240,000 times 1%, I'm risking $2,400 a trade. And my stop loss is 100 pips. Somebody tell me what you're trading at that point. What's my lot size at that point? It's easy math, right? I got a $240,000 account. I'm risking 1%. That's $2,400 per trade, and my stop loss is 100 pips. What's my lot size that I'm trading? No takers? Did my mic go out again? Can everybody hear me?
Now we here. Anybody gonna do the math?
No. So I'm at $24 a pip at that point. Right? I'm at $24 a pip at that point. Okay. And for example, what is this? Right? That stop loss, a wider stop loss on that was 263. So we could do that. 260, right? You're $9 a pip, $9.23 to be exact. I'm at $9 a pip on that. Okay. And I just moved 335 pips. It's $3,000. And I'm clicking buttons. It's 3 G's. And that's 1%, that minimum risk. All right. If I cut that stop loss down to 100 pips, I'm at $24 a pip. And I just moved 333 pips. That's $7,992 on one move that you're just sitting there watching the charts. The key is most people don't want to be patient enough to get there. They don't want to be patient enough to get there. That's the issue. All right, so let's take a look at this NZD-JPY. Charts overall, right? It's been grinding higher. Okay, we're at a key level here. Right back at this level, we're reacting a bit. Just wanted to take a look at this one because I've been watching it. So let me zoom out, take a look on the 4 and where we are, right? So we've been moving bullish pretty good. Still long against the yens, right? So we're struggling at this level. 1, 2, third time now. 89.67. So we may see a correction, right? A continued move to the downside, but I'm still looking for this to finish out eventually at the extension. But I just wanted to peek in on that. Here we are. Okay. With this latest move. And we're moving down, right? So we may move down. We filled that gap. Now we're turning over. So let's just wait and see if we get a correction back down. Don't know, right? This has been moving kind of funny. But let's see how far we push down. If it comes down into our buy zone, then we look to get long on the NZD JPY. Pound Aussie, want to take a look at this one. And then I'm going to wrap things up for today. Oh, Joe, it's all good. Trading, getting hundred. It's rare to hear about trading getting hundreds of pips. It is. It is. It is. It is rare. Some people say you don't need it. You don't need all those pips, but it's like we're trying to put people in situations where they don't have to take on a lot of risk to make money. So in that case, you do. This is popping to the upside, right? Pound, right? Looking long, right? So we talked about this last week. We got 2 TP levels and we were looking for a reaction and we got it. See how that game goes? Major move, right? To the downside. That 80-20 out of that zone, you had some drawdown, right? Out that top level, 200 something pips. Then we reversed and went all the way down to TP2, 875 pips or so to that target. That's a big move, right? Right. So if you're sitting in that $8-9 a pip eventually, 875 pips, right? That's almost $8,000. And you've risked 1%. Now think about that and what you're seeing out here all over the net. And once you realize that, you'll realize why so many people continue to take L's in this game. Right? So here we are on this 1 hour. This is long. Right? This is long. This is moving long. Look at the trend line break. Everything that we teach, right? Everything that we teach technically and fundamentally is playing out. That's the pound Aussie. Let's see if we can get that target. See if we can get to those targets, right? So let me see, right? So you can see how we've reversed down to that TP1, TP2. We brought those from the higher time frame. So we're looking long pound Aussie right now. Any questions on anything that we covered today?
No questions. And as we find a lot of people want to be our friends because we know how to trade, or do they ask us to trade for them?
I have in the past, but I don't have a license to trade other people's money. So I don't even go there. Like if I want to get legit with the proper licensing, right? I don't know what I'm pretty sure you probably feel the same way. Like, but I've never traded anybody's money without having the proper credentials.
Same.
Gotta do things the right way. But I will say when I and kudos to all of you, because a lot of times when I tell people that, and I say in the past, and I would tell them like, no, I actually teach people how to trade. I can teach you how to trade your own money. They back away. Oftentimes.
They run for the hills, man.
They run for the hills. Right? Nobody wants to participate in their own rescue.
Bingo.
That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. And after 44 years, it is what it is. It is what it is. So we appreciate all of you being here with us, putting in the work, participating in your own rescue. Like Ryan always says, showing up for yourself, because that's where the true freedom is. And you all are getting this thing. You keep showing up day after day, week after week. And when you get it, you got it, right? So awesome session. Look forward to seeing all of you back tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the pre-New York session. Whereas one of our awesome mentors, hey, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Have a good day, everybody.